over 2 pins, 2 outs. You knocked over 1 pin, 3 outs. You knock over 1 pin, 1 out. You hit the ball, and the catcher catches it. 1 out. You hit the ball, and the catcher catches it off the wall. 1 out. Okay? What's that? The bowler can catch it because you're working together. Yeah, so I love the question. It's the only way we understand it. Okay? If she pitches it, now, a real common thing that I find that kids do is they're, for some reason, I don't know why, but they think that if you throw the ball and your partner catches it, that's an out. It's not. I don't know why. But, so just keep that in mind too, that the only way, well, there's several ways to get out, but that's not one of them.
So I can throw it to you and send that.
How does the batter score? We're getting to that.
If a bowler knocks 1 down, can the catcher put it back up?
Oh, and if a pin gets knocked down, you don't throw the ball until the pin's set back up. Yeah.
You always have a chance for 2 outs.
You always have a chance for 2 outs. Okay.
We have 1 out. We have 1 out.
1 out.
Does that count?
Let's go ahead and move these back a little bit. Bring them back. Let's move these back. These setups. Yeah, move them back some.
Move it back.
What if you hit them?
Now, how far? There you go. Good. Almost touching. Hey, freeze!
What if the pitcher hits the batter?
What if the pitcher hits the batter? Nothing happens. And you know what? Over the years, I've kind of contemplated that. You know, that dilemma of what if the bowler hits the batter? You know, if it results in injury, which is never serious, right? I never had a serious injury. But, you know, if there's a situation where, you know, it was just unfair or whatnot, you just got to teach them. This is a great time to teach them, you know, what is really fair in life, what isn't. So,
You got a question over here?
yeah.
So the batter is out if he or she puts a leg in front of the pins?
Yeah, that's interference.
Yeah.
So if they interfere, that's great. I love that observation. Now, so yeah, if you get in the way, which the kids will, they get sneaky. They'll be like this, you know, things like that. You know, where's Mr. Purse? You know. Okay, so, and if there's ever a problem, if you know, like, oh, you knocked it down, or she knocked it down, or whatever, what do we do? Best of 1. Yeah. Okay, and then that solves everything. Okay, now, batters. What if they hit the pin by accident while they're batting? That's an out. Yeah. If they knock over 2 pins, it's 2 outs. All right. Now, here's our next progression, and it's really cool. And that is the marble pot. The marble pot dates back about 500 years, and it was in Scotland. Now, cricket came from sheep herders using their staff and a ball of wool, and they were hitting a gate that had stones on top. And if they could knock over the stones off the gate, which were wickets, then they would, you know, or whatever they did back 500 years ago. You know, that's where cricket comes from. So they also have a marble pot. I wish they had blown the dark. That'd be cool. So the marble pot, it's an upside down frisbee. Okay, it's upside frisbee. Now the marble pot was a 10-inch hole in the ground, and it was played with 3 people. And what they would try to do is they would try to roll the ball into that 10-inch hole. It was 10 inches deep. And that's the marble pot. Now the batter didn't want that to happen, so they would hit the ball away. Okay? Now, here's the next part. If I'm batting, and I think, go ahead. Okay? Go ahead. Go ahead. If I think he's going to knock over my pins, I can put the bat in the marble pot, and I'm safe. But if she has the ball, and I'm like, what's that, Mr. Person? Okay. Oh, I didn't have my bat in there. So you can protect your pins another way. Not only can you hit it away, but you can also put your bat in the marble pot. And the pins can't get knocked over. But if you're not paying attention, okay, the pins can get knocked over anytime after you've rotated and there's been 1 pitch. You just can't rotate and then knock over the pins real quick, okay? Which is, as much as I tell them, they still try to do that. So, you gotta have the bat in there. If I look, now, if I'm on the rim right there, no. You gotta be in the marble pot. And that's a lot of rock, paper, scissors disputes. It's kind of fun. Okay, so I can protect it that way. Now, if you knocked over the pins just as I was going, okay, and the pins get hit and then they fall over, how do you determine who is safe and who's out? Rock, paper, scissors, okay? Questions?
Would you demonstrate that?
Yeah, we're going to demonstrate right now. Let's demonstrate and then I'll ask questions. Okay, or ask questions. So go ahead, batters. Now you can hit the ball away, but if you think they're going to try to knock over, if the ball's going to knock over the pins, and you can't hit it, then put it in the marble pot. Overhand. Quick, knock him over, knock him over, knock him over! That's one out.
Come on, Mary.
Quick, no, set him up. Set him. See, now freeze. If you quickly set up the pin, hold on a minute. Hold, folks, freeze. Okay, so what happened here, she had the bat out, he set up the pin, and if he has the ball, as soon as he sets up those pins, he can knock him over. And you can swipe it. You can do that, that's 2 outs. You can throw the ball at it, okay, but you can't do this and knock him over. You got to do it with the ball. Okay, let's watch, and then I'll answer questions. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, good. See there, work together. Now freeze. I'm sorry I keep doing this, but as I see things happen, which you will, and you'll figure out how do I handle that. Party's got to work together because if he sets them up this far away, is the batter going to tell the person, oh, they're not touching? No, because it's going to be harder to knock them over. So it's a strategy. So you're teaching strategy.
Even if she knocked over 2. Even if right now, encourage me, you weren't in there, I'd go.
See? I like that. Now we start to understand that if you're quick working together, okay, you want to be quick about this. Yeah. Yeah, and ask a question. Hey, and feel free to tap out. So as people are playing, tap them out. If you want to play and participate. Yeah. Freeze! Now, here's the cool thing. Hold on, folks. I tell my kids if they talk, I listen, and if I talk, they listen. It works really cool. So, if you set up the pins, all right, and let's say you the ball. Okay, let's say you're not paying attention. You set up the pins. Set the ball in the marble pot. If it stays there, you can throw it. If it stays in the marble pot, it's an automatic 3 outs. Automatic rotation. Okay? And now that remember, if you feel like somebody hit somebody on purpose, you can remove an out. Okay, so if she had 2 outs, then it would go to 1 out. But if the ball goes in the marble pot, it's automatic rotation. Okay? So, and over here we have the question. What was your question again? Yeah. So these kids are working together. They can't knock over anybody else's. Unless on day 9 you've done assessment, and I do what's called crazy Womba ball, where anybody can knock over anybody's pins in the game. That's a lot of fun. Kids love it. It works for some classes, not for others. Oh, here's another thing too. Hold on, folks. Now, if I'm batting and I don't do strikes, okay, but if you find that you have a group of kids that are pretty good at this, you ask them. Everybody has to agree to doing strikes. Okay, then, a swing and a miss, that would be strike 1. And and then strike 2 and so on. Questions? Yes?
To keep batter from putting their bat in the marble pot for most of the time. I mean, I understand sometimes they catch it.
The the bowler does not throw the ball until she's in the batting position. And then she can do that. Now I tell the kids, there are some kids who put the bat right away. And I just simply tell them, I go, you know what, you're kind of holding up the game. You're not learning. Nobody's watching, okay? You're trying to work as a team. So that comes into play. It works. By the end of the unit, I never have a kid not wanting to bat. I mean, it's just because there's no pressure, really. Because the game, especially when the game's going really fast. And this team is going to pick themselves, their like skill abilities. So they're going to be really fast. Meanwhile, the team over here might be a little bit slower, not as fast. Okay, because they're playing with like, and I will intentionally put, if I see partner groups that are kind of a little askew in the game, okay, then I'll make some switches.
How can you defend the catcher from just swiping the
You got to put the bat in the marble pot.
And then wait for the catcher to actually throw it back, because you looked at your bat up one time and I was like, ooh, he could have done it, but he didn't.
Right, and you can do fakes. You can fake, and then get them. Okay, yeah.
I'm like, whoop.
Oh, folks. So you set up the pin real quick and knock them over. Yeah. No, if a pin is down, thanks. If a pin is down, it stops play. You can't knock down one and then the other. Okay, they either both go down at the same time, okay, or, when a pin is knocked down, you got to stop the play until the pin is set up. Then it's game on.
But if she doesn't put her bat down.
She doesn't put her bat down, knock them over. You got to have the bat in the marble pot. If the bat's not in the marble pot, game on. Knock it over. 3 outs. No, you can't put the ball in the marble pot, okay, when the bat's there. It won't count. Okay, now, we're going to go up a notch. Okay, so, this field setup. Go ahead and take it down there, the frisbee and the 2 pins in the back. And you go ahead and set up 2 frisbees, or a frisbee, 2 pins in the back. So, everybody down here, take your stuff down there. And now we need 3 more people over here for each. Let's do this. I think, hey, I forgot that we're just going to do, we'll do 3 setups. So let's do a setup here. Okay, can you move this setup over here, please? Let's pull,